Living on $2,000 a month in 2026 requires a clear picture of how far limited resources must stretch. For instance, once we've accounted for our fixed costs, like housing, utilities, and food, the remaining budget shrinks drastically. Emergency expenses loom large, illustrating just how precarious the situation can become. Trade-offs on essentials force difficult decisions, perhaps sacrificing a healthy meal for a cheaper alternative or deferring maintenance on a car to remain afloat. In a reality where numbers don't lie, this budget is about surviving, not thriving. Each financial choice is laden with the weight of consequences, suggesting we need a fresh approach to understanding personal finance. With this tight financial landscape, individuals often find themselves navigating a maze of constraints that dictate their daily lives. Imagine standing in the grocery store, comparing prices, weighing the cost of fresh produce against frozen alternatives, while internalizing the constant pressure to make the best choice possible. Each item in the cart symbolizes a calculated risk, a choice driven by necessity rather than desire, highlighting the stark reality of budgeting within these limitations. The struggle extends beyond mere numbers. It becomes an emotional ordeal where stability hinges on every dollar spent. This relentless cycle erodes the sense of security that should come from a full-time job, leaving individuals feeling trapped in a never-ending loop of compromise. Embracing this stark truth of modern living demands not just awareness but an urgent call for systemic change and support in financial education. The scenario of budgeting on such a tight financial leash raises critical questions about priorities and personal well-being. As individuals sift through their limited cash flow, the choices between essentials become painfully evident. What if you need to visit a doctor but have already allocated that month's funds entirely? Or perhaps the car breaks down unexpectedly, shattering the fragile balance of your finances. Instead of merely managing expenses, one must navigate a web of constraints that feels more like survival tactics than intelligent money management. This distressing dance with diminishing returns reminds us that financial health is intricately tied to access and equity, highlighting disparities felt by many in society today. Finding a way out of this cycle isn't merely about cutting costs more, but reshaping the environment in which these financial battles are fought. As we delve deeper into this financial landscape, it becomes clear that the challenges extend beyond mere budgeting. For many, the emotional toll of these constraints manifests in daily stress, anxiety, and frustration over choices that should ideally promote well-being. Each transaction carries the burden of uncertainty, forcing individuals to constantly reevaluate their priorities, often compromising on health, education, or necessary repairs for the sake of immediate survival. Imagine having to skip a preventive health checkup because it simply isn't feasible within the month's constraints. In such a reality, the concept of thriving is a distant dream, overshadowed by the urgent need to make every cent count. This acknowledgement lays the groundwork for understanding that financial literacy isn't just about balancing a budget. It's about empowering individuals to navigate a world where every choice has a profound impact on their overall quality of life and future stability. In this scenario, the breakdown of each expense category reveals a glaring truth. Maintaining a semblance of financial stability feels more like a delicate balancing act than a strategic plan. As bills pile up, making each payment can initiate a cascading effect, forcing the reconsideration of previously settled expenses. The grounded reality is that many people, despite working hard, grapple with anxiety over whether their monthly dues will be met. This underscores the dire need for systemic enhancements, such as affordable housing initiatives and accessible healthcare, to alleviate the constant strain on individuals. A pivotal question emerges: how can society shift from merely surviving on a tight budget to thriving within an ecosystem that encourages smart financial literacy and equitable growth? The reality of living on a tight monthly budget not only constrains individuals financially, it also reshapes their psychological landscape. For those in this predicament, simple decisions can lead to significant stress and anxiety, often making it feel as though every dollar spent is a gamble with fate. Consider the individual who, after a long day, curls up on the couch, contemplating how to stretch that final $100. Should they buy a few additional groceries, risking a bill that might come due later, or save it for potential unforeseen costs? This moment embodies the emotional weight of financial hardship, revealing a struggle that isn't just about numbers but about dignity and self-worth. Every choice resonates beyond the moment, capturing the broader implications of financial education and societal responsibility in aiding those caught in this cycle, striving not just for survival, but for a better quality of life. The breakdown of monthly expenses ultimately reveals a disheartening cycle. For every financial decision, the specter of mounting pressures looms large. A simple choice to eat out instead of preparing a meal at home often leads to reflections on how that seemingly harmless decision impacts the overall budget. This ongoing battle emphasizes resilience, yet it also highlights vulnerabilities that can surface when circumstances change unexpectedly. Choices transform into a form of negotiation, where each transaction must be weighed against potential future ramifications. Living on $2,000 a month isn't just a matter of discipline. It's a constant navigation of scarce resources that demands both emotional and practical resilience. In conclusion, living on $2,000 a month in 2026 is more than just managing expenses. It's an exercise in resilience against a backdrop of structural economic limitations. Understanding this reality is crucial for fostering meaningful change, ultimately leading to a society where financial stability and equality are attainable for all.